chat? What's up, nigga? Here to get this fucking Elo back. Listen to this shit now. You know what I'm saying?
My name is Nicholas J. Fuentes. We have a great show for you tonight. I know it's a little bit late. It's a little bit late after midnight, late night show, but we have a great show for you tonight. Great to be back with you here tonight on Friday. We got a lot to talk about tonight, lots to get into. Big show, lots of big news, some big surprises, transformations, very interesting evening tonight. I don't even really know what to make of it. And I'm sure we'll hear more about this in the coming days and possibly weeks. But our featured story tonight, we're talking all about the resignation of Marjorie Taylor Greene, which was announced earlier today. It will be effective in January. And this seems to have come out of nowhere. I'm sure you've all heard about it. Maybe you've seen the statement. But she put out a 4-page statement tonight, as well as a video where she reads it. And she expresses her frustration with the Trump administration, with Washington. And it seems the only reason she gave for stepping down is that she does not want to subject her district to a competitive primary. And of course, she's referring to President Trump's intention to back, potentially, a primary challenger to run against Marjorie in her district for the Republican nomination. And I think everybody recognizes that's not...
Trying to get this Elo back, nigga. We roll up first, nigga.
Nobody really knows. And I've heard rumors, I've heard theories. I think there's a very obvious one. Many people believe that Marjorie might intend to run for the presidency in 2028.
I'd never vote for her.
And potentially this is a political maneuver to avoid a contentious election, which might damage her prospects. I think that's a possibility. And other people may suspect that she caved to the pressure. She has been under a lot of pressure from the president, who has been attacking her for weeks now. Marjorie claims that she's been the victim of death threats and doxing and swatting, and her family has been attacked. And so maybe she just withdrew because it got too difficult. We'll talk about it tonight. We'll work through her statement. We'll talk all about the announcement. It's a pretty big surprise, especially after this massive victory over the Jeffrey Epstein disclosure. So they just won. They just finished. And now she's resigning midway through her term. Very strange. Very strange timing, very strange turn of events. And honestly, I don't know what to make of it, but we'll talk about that. We're also going to talk tonight about President Trump's meeting with Zohran Mamdani in the White House. Very funny.
That's real shit. I don't know what to make of that shit either. I saw that shit.
Was curious to see
I woke
how it
up.
would go because they have
I woke up out of nowhere. You know, see it's late. I'm like, all right, Fuentes probably finna start. First thing I do is hit my Twitter and I see that bitch stepped down. I'm like, yo. I'm like, wait a minute, what? I'm like, didn't y'all just get the Epstein files passed? Why the fuck you stepped down? That's what I was thinking. And I figured he'd be talking about this, and obviously I clicked this fucking... And I'm like, alright, something good to watch, listen to. Okay, let's get some fucking Elo back and hear what Nicholas has to say, right? Alright.
Relationship. Trump, in the end, backed Andrew Cuomo in the New York City race as an independent.
I guess I'm chesting like 2 minutes somewhere.
Did not work. Of course, Zohran Mamdani carried New York by more than 50%. So he defeated both Cuomo and...
That nigga Zohran was in the fucking White House with Trump. Like, what the fuck is even politics? I mean, I guess if the nigga win, you gotta respect it, you know what I mean? Y'all on the same team at that point, but... Like, what, bro? Like, was he endorsing Andrew Cuomo, bro? Like, what the fuck?
And Curtis Sliwa, and got more votes than both of them put together. And not only that, but Zohran has attacked the president as well as the president's immigration agenda. The president has attacked Zohran Mamdani viciously and made fun of his name and made fun of him as a guy. And the Republicans have been vicious. I saw super chats during the mayoral election, and I couldn't believe, but I guess nothing surprises me anymore. But I couldn't believe people actually bought this. During the mayoral race, you had all these people saying that if Zohran Mamdani wins, then New York is finished. New York is finished. They said because all the billionaires, they're just going to pack it up and they're going to move to Florida. And some of you people, because you learn nothing, you never learn, people actually believe that. And they said, if Zohran gets elected, man, New York is finished. Everyone's going to Florida, and Miami will become the new New York. Never going to happen.
Not in a trillion years.
Like that. Every election they say that. We're all going to move to Canada. If somebody wins the election, we're out of here. This is the most important election of our lifetimes. Yeah,
but this time we hope they were serious.
Nothing ever really changes. Everything keeps going exactly
we hoped
the same
they were
way.
serious.
And
Dude,
so this was coming from the Republican side. They called him a jihadist. They called him an Islamist.
Yo, can y'all hear this shit all right? I know my mic is ghetto, but can y'all hear the podcast all right?
A communist, all these, the usual stuff. He's going to ruin the city. And now they're not only meeting, but they have a very congenial meeting. Trump meets with Zohran, and it's chummy. It's friendly. I think it's mostly one-sided. I don't know that Zohran, he didn't look particularly friendly. Trump was very friendly. He seemed enamored with the mayor for some reason. I don't know why. But that was very funny and unexpected. And what's, to me, very rich about it is that this just demonstrates time and time again, it is the masses. It is the vulgar masses, the throngs of the plebeians, of the peasants. All of the propaganda and the polemics, it's only for them. The influencers that peddle it and the politicians and billionaires that pay the influencers to peddle it, they don't even believe it. They don't believe it.
I have to say this, bro. Niggas that talk with their hands like this, bro, he's not beating the allegations, dog. He's just not the homie, but he's not beating the allegations. Zohran Mamdani? Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like, oh my god, dude. This guy's a fucking fruit. I fuck with him, though. You know, it's okay to be a fruit. It's alright. He loves Jesus. It's okay.
They're just saying that it's tactical. They're either purchasing it for political benefit, and the influencers, well, they're getting paid to post it. All of that resentment and all of those emotions, those belong exclusively to the lower classes. Because that was the story of the election. You remember during the mayoral race, they said he's a Marxist Islamist, he's a jihadist, he's an immigrant, he's a third worldist, he's anti-white, he's a race communist. Remember this? And this slop...
King Darius stem. That nigga stem in mid rant, my nigga hit a stem. He said, fucking goy slop. Let me stop before I get fucking canceled.
Slop was being fed to us, fed to a Twitter audience and the boomers by Fox News, by the Peter Thiel Network.
I rolled up. Let's get a chess game in.
These idiots on Twitter like Jack Posobiec and Raw Egg Nationalist.
One of my worst L's I ever rolled in my life.
They said he's a communist Muslim, cannot be elected. And in the end, Trump not only invites him to the Oval Office, but he's enamored with him. He's actually sticking up for him. Zoran's being asked, so do you think Trump is a fascist? And Trump says, just say yeah. Sure you think I'm a fascist. Who cares?
Who cares?
Conservative journalists are grilling him. Trump says, I'll stick up for this guy. So what happened? I mean, talk about cutting your legs out from under you. All of Trump's plan trusters, all of Trump's loyalists, they're screeching about race communism and anti-white. And then Trump hangs out with the guy and says, I like him. You know, me, I like him. It's all fake. It's all kayfabe. Okay. What is it? Kayfob, kayfabe. It's all professional.
Just going to development.
So we'll talk about that too. Should be a pretty good show. Before we get into it, I want to remind you to smash the follow button, smash the like button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the show. Check out our store, Fuentes.store. We finally have credit card processing. So I know a lot of people they were not able to purchase the merch because up until now, we've only been able to accept Bitcoin. We've only been able to accept cryptocurrency, and that's because I'm banned from all payment processing. However, in the past couple weeks, we were approached by an exotic payment solution provider. I'm not going to give any more details about that. But we were approached by a group that specializes in high-risk payments for people like myself and similar high-risk enterprises. I guess the talk show counts as that. And so we finally got the credit card processing. If you've been waiting for that, or if you have not been able to buy the hat because you don't know how to use Bitcoin, we finally have it. Fuentes.store. Get your hats and get your t-shirts. The Wang Half t-shirt.
What, that nigga think I was about to throw both my business in the trash? Hell no.
Other options soon
Tripping,
as well.
G.
Maybe right around the corner for Black Friday. So we do have the credit card processing just in time. If you've been unable to get the merch, check it out. Fuentes.store. Also, get your subscriptions at AmericaFirst.plus. If you want to join the $100 a month club on AmericaFirst.plus, subscribe and you get access to a group chat with me. I was in the group chat this morning. I think I dropped about 45 minutes worth of voice messages. I basically did a bonus show already today. That's kind of why I was a little bit later. I'm a little tapped as we approach the end of the week. So if you want access to exclusive content like that, make sure to subscribe. Like I said, AmericaFirst.plus. That's the website. All right, we're going to move on. We're going to dive into the show. Oh, one other thing. We're not going to be here on Monday. So I told you yesterday I might do a show tonight. Here I am, but I will not be here on Monday. So I'll be back on Tuesday, just so you're not caught off guard if you're watching live or the replay. I will return on Tuesday with my next show. Okay. With that out of the way, we're going to dive into the show. I'm pretty tired, I got to tell you. It's been a long week. Doing these full weeks, it's very taxing. 5 shows a week, that's a lot. That's a lot to carry a show. And a slow week. There's like no news. Nothing has been happening in the news at all. So we have been getting creative around here. And we've been
I'm getting fucked on this game, dude. I do not see no...
to get some content for the show. But tonight, of course, we've got some big news we're going to dive in. And our first story, I do want to talk about the Marjorie Taylor Greene resignation. Huge news. And a big surprise, big shocker. This came out of absolutely nowhere. It makes no sense on some level. Marjorie is relatively young. I mean, she's an older woman, but she's relatively young for a congresswoman. And as far as I'm aware, I think she's more popular than ever. She has easily won every election since her first election, I think in 2022 or 2020. She's been around for a long time. She's been learning the game. She's been quite popular. And like I said, the resignation follows her total and complete victory over Donald Trump concerning the bill which will force the DOJ to release the Epstein files.
No, I didn't mean to go there.
Donald
Fuck.
Trump has
Don't make
been
a difference.
working overtime.
I want to go to D6,
to
but it's all good.
to distract people from them.
Fuck, no it's not. Damn it.
persuade the members of Congress that want to
Motherfucker.
get them released to stand down. He's really pulled out all the stops to prevent this from happening. And it was only this week, I believe we covered it on Monday and Tuesday. It is now headed to the president's desk for a signature. It is only this week that the bill finally passed, and it did so with the defections of 4 MAGA congressmen, Thomas
Damn,
Massey,
I'm cooked. I lost
Marjorie
her.
Greene, Lauren Boebert, and Nancy Mace. This was the latest and the most intense conflict between Marjorie Greene and President
All these
Trump
stupid
to
blunders
date.
I'm doing on accident.
This is a relationship that had been fraying for some time, maybe due to political reasons.
Me, dude.
Marjorie's very ambitious. I think we all know that she has ambitions to run for a statewide office like governor or senator of Georgia. I imagine she was angling for the vice presidency last year. At least that's what I've heard. I always thought that was idiotic, but other people insisted that would happen, and it didn't. I imagine she was angling for a cabinet position. And so it would seem to me that she is basically somebody who outgrew Congress, but found herself reaching a very low ceiling. And it seemed that the party leadership, perhaps Trump included, was not keen on elevating her any further. Perhaps they recognized that she doesn't have a very high ceiling. I don't think she has what it takes, actually. I don't think that she has the right personality. I don't think she has the right politics. I don't think she's smart enough to become the governor, the senator, the president. I think everyone recognizes that. And so they want to keep her around as a staunch, energetic ally in Congress.
Go ahead, take my night. I know you want to.
Senate campaign or governor campaign with her at the top of the ticket that has any chance or any kind of legs or anything like that. And so I think there was some maybe political disagreement. There was maybe a political clash, and by politics, I mean purely politics. And of course, that has
move that queen, nigga.
Policy disagreement. I think that as Marjorie has grown frustrated with her current standing, or lack thereof, I think she has decided to rebel against the party and against Trump in particular.
Might have an easy checkmate here.
It's also the case that Congress across the board is rebelling against a deeply unpopular president who seems to be hemorrhaging support with independents and especially lately even with Republicans on key issues like the economy, issues like immigration. These are Republican issues.
All good with me, homeboy.
His support is dying. And so this has been the theme of the past year. Marjorie Greene, being what she is, she blows with the wind. She goes and bandwagons wherever the people are. Whatever's popular, that's what she embraces. She serves as a bellwether, a weather vane for where the MAGA base is at, given that she is arguably the first or the second class of MAGA congressmen or congresspeople. At the same
probably
time,
not how it's going to go.
She's
God damn
willing
it.
to represent that because she's dissatisfied. She's unhappy. She doesn't want to be a congresswoman for 40 years. She wants to be the senator, and then she wants to be the president.
Maybe should have gone here.
She wants to be the Secretary of Education. She wants more, and it's not being given to her. And that's very clear. We'll talk a little bit about why that is, how we know that. And in any case, so this relationship has been fraying over the past year. It's political, but I think that Marjorie has seized on some very real popular sentiment. It also shows that it's not just political. There's also more to it as well, even if it's opportunistic. And this really metastasized until eventually it turned into an open conflict, an open battle between Marjorie and the president over the Epstein files. And Marjorie, standing with Thomas Massey and Lauren Boebert and Nancy Mace, these were the four
must not have seen my fucking bishop right there or something.
And they voted and worked along with the Democrats on passing a bill in the House forcing the release of the files. Because of that, Trump put Marjorie in the crosshairs.
I wonder if he sees his checkmate, this fat checkmate I'm cooking up.
The past couple of weeks,
I wonder if he sees it.
Traitor.
Watch, I go here, he goes wherever. See this?
In Georgia,
I'll go here and then go bang.
And maybe campaign for a potential primary challenger and work to unseat her and take the nomination from her as the incumbent. And that's a major escalation. And a
Let me
major
distract
break,
them real quick.
considering the
Nigga!
Green has been one of
Oh no! He has a knight there! No! I was supposed to go here first. Motherfucker.
The areas
Thank God he didn't see that. Holy
these
shit.
are areas where the president has broken with the people.
Oh my God.
Marjorie disagrees with the president on H-1Bs, on bombing Iran, on foreign aid to Israel, and on the
This check though, right?
These all happen to be
Oh no, he got to go back up
America
there.
First issues. These are America First labor, corruption, and foreign policy issues.
So I'll go here.
And most of these things are things that Trump campaigned on himself. Perhaps not.
Now this check, right?
Specifically
No.
H-1Bs, but
Oh, because he could go there.
Starting new wars,
on
an America First foreign policy, and on releasing the Epstein files. He's not delivering, and these are the areas where Marjorie has disagreed. In response, Trump has totally pulled the rug out from under her and declared an open war on her.
I'm gonna go here.
Marjorie retaliated.
Damn it! Yo, I thought that was check. I'm sorry.
She said that because of the statement, she's been getting death threats. She says that people are threatening her, harassing her, doxing her.
Bro.
She's in fear for her life. And Trump.
That was Saudi.
Now the big news came.
Damn, yo.
Friday.
Now what am I gonna cook up?
And she talked in her resignation message about this conflict. She talked about how she's frustrated with the lack of change or willingness to change in Washington. She wrote about how she is disappointed and saddened about the conflict.
If I go here,
she also writes about the pressure
she's
under
and
the
there.
danger. And she says that she will be resigning effective January 5th, 2026.
So maybe I'll go here.
And as
maybe I'll go
right
here.
Now, that's it.
Here.
If there is some deeper reason or greater reason, she didn't say it or imply it. And if she has any future political ambitions, she didn't say that either.
Get the homie involved
and we'll work through this. This is from the New York Times. This is the news story about it. It says, quote, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, the hard-right Georgia Republican, said on Friday night that she would resign from Congress in January. An announcement that came days after
maybe
President
I go
Trump
here,
branded
he
her a
takes, I go there.
for breaking with him and helping to force a vote to compel the Justice Department to release its files related to Jeffrey Epstein.
Right.
Ms. Greene, who was elected in 2020 and positioned herself as a diehard Trump supporter until a series of ruptures with the president on a variety of issues, made the abrupt announcement in a video and statement she posted online, filmed from her home in Georgia, with her Christmas tree on display behind her. Important detail there. She said, quote, loyalty should be a two-way street. We should be able to vote our conscience and represent our district's interest. She said that she had been
ready to sack this
rook
for sure.
Inc. It was indicative that many common Americans had
he
been
wasn't
cast
out with
aside
all
and
that.
replaced as well.
That's not the
In a
life
phone
he
interview
lives.
with an ABC reporter, Mr. Trump called her plans great news for the country. Love it. Love that. It is extremely unusual for a member of Congress to up and leave in the middle of a term, barring an illness or some extenuating circumstance that makes it impossible to carry on.
Maybe I'll go.
But Ms. Greene said she had made the decision to leave because she did not want to endure a
Dang, I don't know what I do right here.
primary against me by the president that we all fought
If I
for,
take this pawn,
only
but
to fight and
I'm
win
gonna
my
move
election
my
while
rook over.
Republicans will likely lose the midterms. She added, I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better.
Or do I go
That's a really
here?
weird thing to say.
Nah, don't go there.
A
No.
fight? What do you mean a battered wife? You're not married to the president. And you're a congresswoman. What are you talking about? I refuse to just hope it all gets better. Well, who's going to make it better? You have to fight for that. You have to battle. I refuse to be a battered wife. What does that even mean? Who wrote this trash? I refuse to be a battered wife. What are you talking about? That part does not make any sense. Miss Greene, who
I'm about to say, I'm like, yo, I can't believe I missed that. I could have done that so long ago.
Party has tried out many different ways of doing the job. She carved out a singular space on Capitol Hill as part of a
how long could I have done that for?
At both extremes of the ideological
Oh, matter of fact.
Less interested in legislating and building up seniority.
If I went here.
and more interested in
I don't
influencing politics from the
hear.
outside, using social media to troll adversaries. This is just the worst written article. She briefly acted as a team player, forgiving an unlikely alliance with Speaker Kevin
Whatever,
McCarthy
fuck it,
that
I
brought
got
her
it.
some internal standing in the Republican conference,
I
landed
don't even
her
feel
on
that
prime
good because I'm not
committees the
300
Democrats
anymore.
had removed her from. Stephen Bannon said the House is not big enough for her ambitions or personality. She had her committee assignments pulled by Pelosi in her first term and rose to be a national figure. We haven't seen or heard the last of MTG. In the Friday Night Post, Ms. Green said her last day in office would be January 5th.
Do it, bitch.
Here's the thing. I have mixed feelings about the whole story. The whole thing is a total surprise. And I think the statement is basically a fake statement.
I'm gonna let him.
Big long video, and she addresses some of her grievances.
Should I let him?
Ostensibly, she explains her decision. I think we all know none of this is true.
No, I'm not gonna let him. That'd be
There's
crazy.
some other
That'd be
reason that
retarded.
she's resigning. None of this makes sense. And I think it points to one distinct possibility, which might be the most obvious. She wants to be the president. She wants to run for president. Everybody knows that. The 2028 primary is soon approaching. You've got the midterms in 2026. Shortly after the midterms, which the Democrats will almost certainly take over the House, is 2027.
What a queer, bro.
And in 2027, both parties are going to have a wide open primary. Trump is term limited, so the Republicans are going to have a wide open primary.
He's not doing much right now, but okay.
And they'll be competing for Trump's endorsement as well.
That's how he wants to
It's
play.
going to be
Fine
wide
with
open
that.
for the first time since 2016. And really, that primary started in 15. So we have not had an open primary, or we will not.
I keep doing dumb shit.
12, 13 years.
I should never even done that.
Since it has been anybody on the ticket other than Trump. You know, over a decade. That's a very long time and very unusual. So, of course, everybody in the Republican Party with ambitions is acutely aware
Thank
of
God.
this. DeSantis, Haley, Pence, Vance, Noem, Rubio, Green.
All right, I defended all right there.
People, and even many
but nah, now it's time though. You want to act crazy?
Hyper aware, you could say, hyper conscious that what Trump is a lame duck. He is a lame duck president that will not have a re-election, and everybody is acting accordingly. And I told you it would be like this. Although when I was telling you this last year, I was strictly talking about the cabinet. And I guess I didn't really even consider that this would also afflict the House and the Senate. And that's something that maybe people didn't really take into account, which is that everybody's expectation is that the second Trump term will have no rules because Trump is term limited. He doesn't have to worry about re-election. People said that would be a positive. People said that would be actually helpful. That without having to worry about re-election, Trump could be as radical as he wants. He could be extreme. He cannot be held accountable. That was the idea going in. This was going to be a radical second term. He was going to be our vengeance, deliver a golden age, and he would not be constrained by public opinion or
I can't cancel. That's right.
about
Fuck.
re-election, donors, all those petty considerations. But I told you last year, no, the opposite is true. The exact opposite is true, which is that because the primary will open up, everybody in the party is going to be doing nothing other than angling for the nomination. So people in his cabinet are not really going to be focused on delivering America first, which might be a risky business. Because to actually deliver on Trump's agenda, you might have to be deeply unpopular. You've got to be invested in the success of the administration for the 4 years, for the full 4 years. If you're angling,
you had a free night there. Thank God I didn't take it.
In 2027, which is really just 2 years in, do you have that kind of commitment? Are you invested? Or are you going to be risk averse? Are you going to be doing things that are only good PR, doing things that only have an upside or a value for a potential presidential run. And people have a memory about these things. So you have to acknowledge, you have to understand that the Secretary of State, the Vice President, the Secretary of War, potentially the Secretary of Homeland Security, many in the Senate, many in the House, many of the governors even, they are all thinking about this deeply. And so their eye is not on the ball.
Trying to keep these
And
fuckers
so
protected. I'm changing my board after this.
Is Marjorie is
I gotta
resigning
switch it
from
up after I
Congress
go on
because
like
she's
a
got presidential
losing
ambitions.
joint like this.
And like I said, this is also specific to her. And I said earlier,
Right, I'm gonna
we
go
know
over
for
here.
a
I'm gonna
fact
follow the
that
plan
she's
through.
ambitious. She ran in 2020 as a MAGA congresswoman when the Democrats won the majority. And very quickly, she was sidelined and I think also sort of typecast as a hillbilly, as a hill person, a Trump radical, someone like the New York Times describes her, who is not interested in building a coalition or working across the aisle or passing legislation, but she wants to be a social media influencer. She wants to pander to the furthest right edge of the MAGA base. So she was taken out of the game quite early. She lost her committee assignments. She was marginalized really by her own party as well. And then in 2022, when the Republicans retook the House, Marjorie Greene sold out. And she went and made a deal with Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy is not MAGA. He's not loyal to Trump. He's not loyal to anybody. He's like the epitome of a spook. He lives with Frank Luntz. They share a house in D.C. It's weird.
If I check him,
He takes tons of foreign money. He
like
should
maybe
have
I
been the
should
speaker
go.
many years ago, but he got blackmailed out
I
of
feel
it.
like maybe I should go
this
here.
Guy is he is like the definition of the D.C. swamp. The definition of everything that's wrong with the GOP conference. And in 2022, when
perfect.
Republicans
This is
gained
working
back
out perfect
the House
right
by
here.
a hair, it was very difficult for the Republicans to choose a speaker because there was nobody in the House that could really command a large number of votes besides Kevin McCarthy. And the more radical members of Congress from the Freedom Caucus or from the emerging MAGA caucus, they didn't want to support him. They don't like him for the same reasons that I do. And Marjorie Greene basically made a deal with Kevin McCarthy and said that she would help him get the speakership. She would quell the MAGA uprising.
Oh, no.
If he would
Oh, my gosh. I do that every fucking time, man.
Marjorie was with Milo Yiannopoulos, her Jewish pedophile
Lord, bro, I
assistant,
don't deserve to
lapdog.
be in fucking...
There they were on election night in
Clearly, I
22.
don't deserve
They
to be
said,
in
"Cheers
fucking
to joining the swamp."
400, bro. That's crazy.
Sold out the MAGA base. She
That's
did a lap
crazy,
dance on Kevin
dog.
McCarthy.
Fuck.
She busted down for him. She whipped the votes. She attacked Matt Gaetz. She attacked others that didn't want Kevin McCarthy to be the speaker. And then she got her reward. She took her money like a whore.
Dude.
She got her position.
Damn.
And she was put back on the committees. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, and it didn't work out.
Damn, that's salty as
Because, of course,
shit, bro.
Kevin
I ain't even
McCarthy
gonna lie
crashed
to you.
and burned after just a year. Kevin McCarthy did not hold up his end of the bargain to Matt Gaetz and to the others. He did not deliver the January 6th Capitol Hill riot footage. He did not deliver on auditing Ukraine aid. He did not deliver on restricting the out-of-control debt spending by refusing to lift the debt ceiling. He didn't do any of that. As a result, he was bounced by Matt Gaetz. There was effectively a vote of no confidence by Matt Gaetz just before October 7th. Kevin McCarthy was overthrown and replaced with Mike Johnson. So Marjorie lost her sugar daddy in 2023. She made this deal. She sold out. She became deeply unpopular. Everybody recognized that. And then her sugar daddy, well, he lost anyway. And Matt Gaetz then eventually lost his position because the swamp retaliated against him. But this wasn't enough for Marjorie. Marjorie wanted the committee assignments, and she wanted to make this deal to demonstrate that she's a serious player. Because she wasn't happy being a Paul Gosar. She wasn't happy being a Thomas Massey. She, in other words, did not want to be stuck in the back of the classroom and be in Congress being the nut job, ridiculed and laughed at and not taken seriously. She wanted to be the governor. She wanted to be the senator. She wanted to be the vice president. She wanted to be in the cabinet. She's very ambitious. So the reason she made the deal with Kevin McCarthy to get the assignments, it wasn't just because she wanted the committee assignments. It's because she wanted to start to build up her credibility. And she wanted to change her reputation. She wanted to repair her reputation as the hillbilly MAGA congresswoman. She wanted to be the bastard you could do business with. She wanted to be the woman that, okay, you know, she's demonstrating her political chops. She can make compromises. She can be a team player. She can eat shit and get attacked by the base in order to help the party. And she thought that not only would she get her committee assignments, but maybe one day the GOP would select her to run for the Senate seat in Georgia or to run for the governorship. But that was delusional because she does not have what it takes. She is not smart. She's not very good looking. No offense. This is politics. It is what it is. And what's more, unfortunately, she is just not politically viable in the state of Florida, which had in 2020 2 Democrat senators, which had, Brian Kemp as the governor, who is not a radical at all. In other words, you can't be the MAGA congresswoman. You can't be what she is and be the statewide winner in a state like Georgia, which has become a purple state, which has become a pretty contentious state between Republicans and Democrats. So Republicans, I'm sure, told her that's never going to happen. They said governor, senator, vice president, cabinet post.
Take the pawn, nigga.
Happen.
Take
You've
that
been
shit.
a congresswoman for what, like
Take
4
that shit,
years?
nigga.
And you got nothing going on. And nobody likes you. The Democrats don't like you, And so I think what very clearly happened is that she hit her ceiling. She sold out, but the party was not going to really give her everything maybe that she expected to get out of this. She made this proverbial Faustian bargain. She made her deal with the devil. And as doesn't deliver. You sell your soul and you don't get what you think.
Oh my God.
So she sold her soul. She gave up her credibility.
I hate this game,
am I
yo.
Be the governor now? And they said, get the fuck out of here. You're not going to be the governor. Be happy you're on a committee.
All right, I
said,
still see something here.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Maybe in 10 years you could be, maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe we'll have that conversation. So she got rug pulled, just like everybody does, just like they always do when you trust the party. And by the way, there's a lesson in this. Everybody thinks they're playing the system. The system is playing you because they made the system and they wrote its rules. So everybody thinks they're going to instrumentalize the system cynically. They're going to infiltrate. They're going to subvert. Everybody thinks they're going to make a pact with the system with their fingers crossed behind their backs, thinking they have no idea. I'm just using them to get ahead.
I go there.
When in reality,
there.
you cannot make deals with the system because the system was here before you were born. And the system wrote the rules. And the system, it is the water in which you swim. And so the idea that you will get an advantage over the system, it is not mathematically possible. It can't happen. The idea that you're going to pull one, you're going to pull a fast one, you're going to sneak it past the goalie, it doesn't work.
Dude, I've been losing my queen, bro.
Wins. That's why it's the house. That's how they make money, because they make the games and they pay the dealers. So, you're never going to get an advantage. And I've been a believer in this for many years. All these people, they go in there thinking they're going to, I know better. I know what I'm doing. No, you don't. Marjorie Greene, you should have stuck to your daddy's construction company.
He lost his queen
You do
too.
not know how to play. They're smarter than you. They've been there longer than you. They're more powerful than you. It was never going to work. So she sold out her supporters thinking that she could make a pact with the system. Surprise, surprise, it didn't work out. Kevin McCarthy got blown up. Her deal got blown up with that. And anyway, they don't even want to run her for a higher office. So where does that leave her in 2025? Well, understandably, she's pissed because she thinks she deserves more. She's a star fundraiser. She's famous. She's got a big social media. I think the clout got to her head. And she's thinking, I deserve more. I'm not getting everything that I deserve. And I think she starts to resent the president. She starts to resent the GOP. And politically, she sees an opening, which is that there is some discontent in the Republican Party.
I go here. He
about
takes
the war in the Middle East, about the war in Ukraine, about some of the statements on immigration, about Epstein. And I think Marjorie finds her leverage. What's going to be her third act? If her first act was MAGA nut job, second act was traitor, sellout bitch. If her third act is going to be, how do I get the initiative back? I will become the voice of the discontented MAGA. If you're not going to listen to me as the team player, I'll go right back on the outside. I tried to be a team player for McCarthy. If you're not going to give me what I'm owed, then I'm going to become a problem for you. So she finds an opportunity, which is to become the mouthpiece and potentially a lightning rod for some of this internal dissent in the party concerning foreign aid to Israel, concerning Tucker, concerning the remarks on H-1B and the Epstein files. And over time, she grows more bold and more outspoken and builds up this catalog of issues. And it starts to really represent like a distinct position, because if you disagree with Trump on labor, immigration, foreign policy, and Epstein, that's like a platform. So it culminates in this battle. Trump slaps her down hard. Now, where does that leave her here in 2025 after the big Epstein dispute? I think that potentially this is one explanation. She recognizes that MAGA is a sinking ship. She's right. The Republicans are going to get destroyed in the midterms. They're going to lose the House. And even if Marjorie runs in 2026 and wins, if Trump tries to primary her, it's going to be a vicious battle. It's going to be ugly. Battle lines are going to be drawn. It's going to be unavoidable. And she might make a lot of enemies. And certainly she's going to take a lot of hits. If she has Trump and AIPAC and the Jewish lobby going really hard against her for a year, she's going to get bruised up, even if she wins. And even if she wins, she's going to be entering a Democrat-controlled chamber. They're going to take her committee assignments from her all over again, back to square one. So maybe Marjorie is just jumping off of the sinking ship. She doesn't want to play that game. She is going to avoid getting bruised up in a primary, avoid getting attacked, getting ads ran against her, getting maybe blackmail disclosed about her. And she's going to gear up for the 28 primary. Maybe that's the angle. Maybe that's the idea. Perhaps that's the goal. Another explanation is, who knows, maybe they got something on her. Maybe she's afraid. Maybe they have blackmail on her. Maybe they have something, because she's not the first person to leave under mysterious circumstances. And she's also not the first person to leave under mysterious circumstances who became a problem for MAGA Inc. Matt Gaetz comes to mind. Do you remember the tale of Matt Gaetz? Matt Gaetz led the coup against Kevin McCarthy in September 2023. When when Matt Gaetz and the MAGA caucus shut down the government, Kevin McCarthy worked with the Democrats to open the government back up. So Matt Gaetz, with a single vote, initiated a vote of no confidence. Kevin McCarthy lost. He was overthrown, and he was forced to resign. His own party took the speakership from him. Matt Gaetz led the charge. Kevin McCarthy resigned. After that, the Republican Party had it out for Matt Gaetz. They started to investigate him. They talked about releasing damning evidence about maybe past sexual or romantic relationships. And so in 2024, after Trump won the election, Matt Gaetz was nominated for Attorney General. He was never going to get the votes for this. I don't know if it was ever serious. It became clear he would not get the votes. He would not be confirmed in the Senate. There was talk that the blackmail would be dumped on him, and so he withdrew himself from consideration, and then
he's not thinking fast enough. He could have had a...
So he won re-election in 24, was submitted as a nominee for Attorney General, withdrew, and then dropped out and would not take office after his re-election in 24, which was not necessary. He didn't have to do that.
All good with me.
And a lot of people said maybe they had blackmail on him. And Matt Gaetz is another MAGA caucus guy. He fought Kevin McCarthy and won. He was another guy who was maybe not loyal to the GOP conference, not loyal to the system. And he also mysteriously resigned, and now he's at OAN, and it's kind of sad. And he's another one that's become a big Israel critic. Oh, well, thanks. Now that you're at OAN, now you want to criticize Israel. That's super helpful, bro.
He's not going to resign, bro. I'm about to make this nigga pay, bro.
And
seriously.
Now that you're on OAN, now you found the courage to talk about Israel. Profiles and courage. Thanks. Helpful. Awesome. Hero. And it also reminds me of Madison Cawthorn. Madison Cawthorn, same deal. Young guy, pro-Trump, MAGA, very conservative, loves the Roman Empire. He goes on a podcast and says, it's Sodom and Gomorrah in D.C. There's orgies and sex parties. What do? Primary challenger. They release all this blackmail on him. He loses the primary. And now I think he's mounting a campaign. I think I saw him on Fresh and Fit the other night. So that's great. So Madison Cawthorn, Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Greene all have met the same fate. They all got elected to Congress. They stood up against the system, and then they got slapped down. They got pwned. They got slapped down by the machine. They're all MAGA, all pro-Trump, all anti-establishment. They all had their own ideas. They were all famous.
Why am I dumb as hell? Why can't I figure this out?
A little too big for their britches. Very ambitious, not tactful. Very disruptive, not strategic. And each and every one of them got annihilated by the system.
No, because he can take my pawn there.
I imagine most likely that is what happened with Marjorie Greene. I don't think actually this was a strategic move. I don't think this was a tactical move because it makes no sense. If you are going to take on the presidency or some other higher office, you would do so as a congresswoman.
Fuck, alright, I'm changing my board now, bro. That shouldn't took that long. Fuck that.
Then you can articulate that.
Change that shit right now.
Position as a congresswoman or in your campaign.
I'll do that.
You can run as a survivor. The only reason why you might not want to stick it out is because if you do, they'll have the ability to make it really painful for you. So I'm not buying her explanation. I also don't think this is some segue into future political run. She might do that later, but I don't think that's the impetus behind this. I imagine she was either threatened.
I don't know, fingers on my screen. I fuck with that.
And I think that's the urgency. I think that explains the timing.
What the fuck? No. Go back.
On Epstein.
I'm a dumbass.
It's a mutiny. I said it on Monday. I said, don't underestimate what a big deal this is. It's a huge deal. It's a mutiny. And Marjorie and
I want to go with one of
these. Bobert and Mace, they led the charge.
I've been jealous of those. I've been losing those kind of pieces lately.
After that, that's a big deal. So
Which
I
one's
think
better?
She was threatened. I think she was threatened. I think that she was blackmailed.
Kind of like this one better.
But it was made clear to her that if she runs, her political career is going to end. I think that was intimated to her in some way, shape, or form. And this is why I have mixed feelings about it. On the one hand, I stand with her in principle. If she's criticizing Israel, if she's criticizing foreign aid, if she's criticizing H-1Bs, if she's criticizing the GOP conference, in principle, I'm with her. And if she got punished for that, then I'm with her. The reason I'm actually relieved to see her go is because she is not a principled person. This is not a principled person at all. She is a craven political opportunist. She is an egomaniac.
Fucking...
She just isn't that smart. And, you know, on some level, it's the more the merrier. The more people are saying the message, it's a great thing. But I think that someone like her, I don't trust her. I don't really see her as a viable leader. I don't see her as a leader of men because she is a woman. And I don't think that she actually really took a brave stand at any point in her career. I think that it was popular to support Trump when she supported Trump. I think that it was convenient to support McCarthy when she did that. And I think that when she took up the mantle of dissatisfaction with Trump this year, again, I think that's where the wind was blowing. And so I don't think she's very principled at all. I don't think she's taken a principled stand in her life. I think she's reactive. She follows the trends. She follows and reacts to things that happen to her.
Here, easy.
And so I find her to be not only untrustworthy because she lied about me and lied about her relationship with me and lied about her views. So I think she's a liar. I think she's not courageous. She is a follower, a bandwagoner, so she has no principles. She worked with Kevin McCarthy, and if it wasn't for Matt Gaetz, we would still have Kevin McCarthy. And it would have been her fault. When it was convenient, she sold us out and thought she was smart for doing that. And in the end, the only reason she sounds like us or adopted our talking points is because we popularized them, no thanks to her. They became popular, no thanks to her. She didn't talk about this stuff. She didn't vote this way. She voted for foreign aid to Israel over and over and over again. She voted for foreign aid to Ukraine until it became unpopular.
I want to fuck his pawn chain. Fuck it.
So, good riddance. I agree with Trump. It is great news for the country. And if the loyalty thing is true, loyalty does go both ways. She was not loyal to me. Good riddance. Everybody always wants to be ecumenical. You know, Tucker was telling me, why are you attacking these people? Hey, they attacked me first. He goes, who cares? Okay, so which is it then? I'm the problem for attacking people, but them attacking me is, I should ignore that? No, fuck them. And Marjorie Greene, good riddance. Enjoy your honeymoon with your weird husband at RSBN. Good riddance. You know, and by the way, she's a woman. So I never liked that to begin with. The idea that we were going to be led by a woman was, I'm surprised how many people fell for that. She's the one. She's going to be the leader.
I don't know why I didn't take that free night. That was retarded.
No offense. But I'm not about to follow a woman like that. You know, what even is this movement about if it has a woman as its leader? Give me a break. So all the fag hags, or I guess she's a fag hag, all the fags worship her because she's a badass bitch? She's a boss-ass bitch? Like fucking Beyonce? Give me a break. So I agree. I mean, I think she's out of place to begin with. She should be home. You know, she divorced her husband. She got remarried. There's some weird affair going on there, some weirdo stuff going on there. Her husband, her new boyfriend from RSBN, is always posting pictures of them fucking hugging and kissing. Hey, nobody wants to see that, man. Aren't you guys both 60? Nobody wants to see a couple of 60-year-old crusty boomers making out. It's just kind of gross to look at, for crying out loud. Anyway. So I'm actually glad about the development. And you know what? You got to fight it out. I mean, look, either she got threatened or blackmailed and she's bowing out and who knows what's being told to her. Or she's dropping out because she's weak. You got to stick it out. She goes, I don't want to be a battered wife waiting for things to get better. Why did you get elected to Congress then? You get elected to Congress to fight, to represent. And isn't that her whole deal? Is that she's fighting for the people. I'm a fighter. I'm a truth teller. I'm doing this. Oh, and then it gets a little bit difficult.
I think
Then it gets a
queen
little bit
to
hard. You've been there for 4 years.
F3.
You've been there for 4 years, almost 5 years.
Hopefully he slips
now.
up.
Couldn't hack it. That's why I'm so, at the end of the day, there was a critique of me many years ago where people said that I was hurting Congress people's careers. Their careers mean nothing compared to this movement because, and I used to tell people in private, people like Marjorie Greene come and go. It's a revolving door. You think you're a big shot because you're working in a congressional office? You're not. These people are disposable. They come, they go. They rely on donations. They're not inspiring. They're not even that smart. If they can lay down their career to confer legitimacy upon this movement, it'll be the most productive thing they've ever done.
I agree. I always said fuck Marjorie Taylor from the very beginning. Y'all could look at the comments on her Instagram. I ain't gonna lie. I look, you feel bad, but yeah. I was fuck Marjorie Greene for a long time.
I would say that me associating with her, that's the best thing she could have done at the time. Now she's done. Now what? Now what? I remember people in Matt Gaetz's office acted like big shots. Oh, well, you know, we're with Matt Gaetz. Oh, yeah, you know, well, we're with Madison Cawthorn. Oh, we're with Marjorie Greene. Who must go? Who must go? How many cocksucking GOP apparatchiks, how many wannabe student council president strivers, House of Cards LARPers, how many ambitious dorks and nerds working in these congressional offices looked down on this movement and said, oh, the Groypers, oh, what are they up to? America first? Yeah, okay. Yeah, where are they now? Who must go? Marjorie Greene and the whole operation. Flush. The whole operation. Isaac and everybody over there. Hey, Isaac. Flush. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, I know. Really, honestly, she did them a favor. I can't imagine anything less dignified than working for a woman congressperson. I can't imagine anything less dignified than that. Having to get schlepped around by her, making her gay-ass podcast that gets no views, and writing her talking points and going to the villages, going to the blue hairs in the nursing homes. Actually, she did them a favor. Nothing less dignified. Flush. Goodbye. Bye-bye, Matt Gaetz. Bye-bye, Madison. Maddie, as they call him. Bye-bye, Marjorie. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Where are they now? Yeah, I'm a little unhappy with those people. So it's a little bit delicious. And you know what? Here's the problem.
That was definitely a blunder losing my night right there.
All these various people, these congressmen, these people that work for them, they don't have a clue. They don't have the vaguest clue as to how we're actually going to get out of this mess. What's the big idea, actually? What's the big idea? Let's say you're Marjorie. Let's say you're Matt Gaetz. Let's say you're Madison Cawthorn. Let's say you're Paul Gosar. What's the big idea? We're going to vote in lockstep with Kevin McCarthy forever? That's going to take us to the promised land? We're never going to take risks with our rhetoric, with our vote. We're going to live in fear constantly of a little piece of paper slipped under the door from the leadership. We're going to live in fear that we're not going to get money from the conference. They don't have the vaguest clue, and that's irresponsible about how we're going to get to the promised land. For them, it's like they're going to build out their career, they're going to get reelected and get donations and get the privileges and the perks of being in Congress while they're basically working with the enemy. And they're never outspoken and they're never bold. And in the meantime, they disavow people like me. In the meantime, these types are disavowing people like myself. Madison Cawthorn called me a right-wing nut. Remember that? Called me a right-wing nut. And Marjorie Greene says, oh, I don't know who that is, and making up shit about me on social media. Who's going to save us? You? Who's going to move the Overton window? You? Where is the Overton window? At the nursing home? Who's going to do it? Who's going to fight the battles? Who's going to make the arguments? So this is just a lesson. It's like, in the end, all these congressional offices are somewhat worthless. They're worthless in the sense that they played it safe. They were risk averse. And in the end, it didn't even matter. These people that were elected like Gates and Green, they played it safe. They never took risks. Gates did something honorable with McCarthy. I'll give him that. But generally speaking, they didn't speak out. They didn't fight. They barely did anything. They didn't help the nascent America First movement at all because they thought they were playing it smart within the machine. And in the end, it didn't even matter. In the end, what did they have to show for it? Nothing. Nothing. The country, the Congress, the policies, it is exactly as it was. Arguably, Mike Johnson is worse than Kevin McCarthy. Worse. And many people in Congress believe that. So even to the extent that they overthrew McCarthy, now we just got Mike Johnson. They just replaced him with another Petri dish creation. He might as well be Eric Cantor's DNA. Might as well have been grown in a laboratory from one of Eric Cantor or Paul Ryan's stem cells. So this is just a message, which is you have to tell the truth. You have to fight. You have to take risks. Playing it safe profits you nothing. Because that was the dogma from all of these people. I've dealt with all these people in one way or another, and they always slammed the door on my cock because they said, oh, well, we got to live to fight another day. We got to play it safe. That's not really politically possible. Okay, and how did that work out for all of you? How did that work out? What did it profit you or the movement or anybody? Nothing. Nothing. So, I agree with Trump. Good riddance. Uninspired. We need a new generation. We need a new generation of congressmen that are just better and smarter, hiding their power levels, understand what it takes, working behind the scenes, not so terrified. So as far as Marjorie's concerned, just another in a long list of has-beens, could-have-beens. Yeah, I really think she's a ridiculous person. So I hope she feels safer now. Now that she's resigned, I hope she feels safer. I hope she doesn't feel like a battered wife. She can take care of her kids. She can make out with her RSBN boyfriend some more. But I agree with Trump. It's great news for the country. I want to move on. We're going to take a look.
Great news for the country.
I think at our super chats, because it's been an hour. Maybe we'll talk about the Mamdani thing. There's not really too much to cover there. So I think we'll just do a shorter show. We'll take a look at our super chats tonight. And we'll see what you guys have to say about all this. Let's take a look. Yeah, I really have nothing nice to say about her. And the reason why is because when this movement was in a difficult spot, she tried to destroy us. When we did AFPAC 3, she came out and said she doesn't know who I am. And then when one of our guys got exposed by the SPLC for working for her, she threw him under the bus and fired him. And then she let Milo manipulate her into trying to attack me and making up bullshit about me, sicking the FBI on me. Fuck you, and good riddance. She's pushing around that lie about Ali Alexander on behalf of Milo. Milo's running her social media. It's like, you're worried about pedophilia? Worry about the guy working in your office, you stupid bitch. She accused me of some sick crap like that from him. Good riddance. Goodbye. So I have nothing nice to say about her. And the Kevin McCarthy thing to boot. She's cheersing. Cheers, we sold out to the swamp. They think it's cute. It's not cute. You haven't been cute for a long time, if you ever were. So good riddance. Anyway, we're going to move on. We'll take a look at the super chats. Someone says, Nick, let it go. No, you can't let it go. You have to remember who these people are. Because if they had it their way, we would have nothing. If they had it their way, we would be in the tubes.
Alexander Emmerich sent $20. Hi Nick, white guy from Brazil here. It's really crazy how the right wing of Brazil believe their country is part of the West, as if they were living inside of a bubble, and they reject racism, even whites. Anyway, do you think white minority in Brazil have any chance, or should they go back to Europe? Many at Sul do Brazil.
I don't know that anybody in the right wing believes that Brazil is part of the West. I don't know who that's referring to.
Glib Blockborg sent $30. At the end of the Tucker interview, it looked like he wanted to continue the conversation, but he abruptly stopped and looked down. I thought it was kind of funny. Did you expect that? God bless.
I don't remember the moment that
happened.
Sent
$50. Amazing message. Nick, the way you addressed it is admirable, and you may not realize it, but your words will change the world. My question is about your favorite, Matt Walsh. Don't you think it's too late for him to join the America First movement, and does he still deserve a place despite being one of the last to accept it?
It is too late. I think at this point it is way too late. The only thing that needs to happen is he just needs to blow up Daily Wire by quitting. And honestly, it's so late in the game. The level of complicity is so high. So, yeah, I mean, the idea that we would ever embrace him, it's getting harder and harder with every day that passes for us to do that. Because the guy knows the score, and he's just a part of it. He's just working for the enemy, openly, explicitly, knowingly. So it might be a little late in the game for that.
Boskiot89 sent $20. Hello, Nick. You've reignited my Catholic faith. I love your work and everything you're doing. I've made grow-ipers out of my whole family. Even my mom and stepmom are fans now. Do you have any book recommendations? I bought The Israel Lobby after hearing you mention it twice now. Sending prayers and support from Detroit.
He's gonna crash out at that. He hates book
recommendations. No, I don't have any books.
He used to be drawn on book recommendations.
When will you enrich
He's a gatekeeping ass nigga.
The Jews are not smarter than we are, rather only cleverer and craftier. Their system cannot be defeated economically. They follow entirely different moral principles than we do. It can only be broken through political means. JG.
That's just cope. That's just cope. They're very smart. And, you know, what benefit does it confer for us to pretend that isn't the case when you say, well, they're not smarter, they're just more crafty? Well, okay, well, what would you call that? I would call that smart. What would you call cleverness? I would call that smartness. Don't be a goy. Don't be a goy and cope like that and say, they're not smart, they're just like, dude, they are smart. They are smart, and that is why they're winning. So, you know, the answer is not to get mad about it and be in denial. The answer is to get smarter. We have to get smarter. We have to get a lot smarter. We have to work harder. We have to get smarter. We have to be better. We have to be better at it than they are. So that's not helping anybody to say, oh, well, they're just not playing by the rules. There are no rules. We're in a knife fight. They follow entirely different moral principles. That's true, but you know, that's politics. You can't hate the game and say that's not fair, you know, and throw the controller through the TV. You gotta just get better.
Big Bro, I percent $25. Love the stream. Keep up the good work. Also wanted to say happy birthday to my nigga Noah who put me on our content.
I don't want to go here.
All right.
Jesus first sent $20. Hey Nick, I'm
go
curious
like
on the Filio.
here.
Orthodox friends see Catholicism as problematic
Go
due to
here.
1095 split over this issue.
I don't really have any insightful thoughts on the filioque.
Shrimpson sent $20. Funny coincidence how all 4 times the Senate condemned a private citizen it has been about anti-Semitism. In 84, the
I
Senate
wonder if that's
condemned
gonna
Farrakhan.
work.
Then it was some Muslim, Tucker, and you.
He might low-key
Wow.
see that
There
though.
you go.
Rigatti sent $30. Nick, this is urgent. Please respond.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
fan of your
I
live
think he
streams, but I'm from
does.
Europe and can't watch them live unless I stay up all night. Can you start your streams 5 to 6 hours earlier so I don't have to watch you at 5 in the morning? The lack of sleep is starting to affect my mental well-being.
Yeah, let me accommodate you
sent
for
$20.
sure.
Candace.
Anything else? You want me to fly there and do the show?
Sent $20. Candace said Andrew Kovlet told her right after Charlie died that her and Tucker were possibly next. If someone said you were next, wouldn't her first response back be who told you? How do you know? It's been 3 months now. Candace wants to know who told him that. I feel like that stuck a fork in her investigation. 3 months later she's curious who told him that. Impossible.
I mean, who knows? Maybe that's just a figure of speech. I think every one of us sort of implicitly knew
dumb.
that if Charlie got killed,
He was supposed to take
whoever
my
killed
pawn.
him
I was
would wanna
supposed
kill
to
us too.
take
So
his. I forgot.
it could
Should have
be
castled.
totally
Fuck me.
innocuous. Not like I have intelligence that you're next. More like, damn, if they killed him, maybe you're next. I think it would maybe be more like that. But
Stephen
I didn't
Chowder sent
see
$20.
that.
Talk shit on Methylene Blue? How fucking dare you? Methylene Blue is the official beverage of patriots. Nothing like cracking some blues with the boys and dismantling the globalists. As a matter of fact, my uncle has been cooking some in his garage lately. He brought some over and we smoked it. I haven't slept in days.
I'm in like a horrible mood.
Operation Wetback 2.0 sent $100. Many people who aren't familiar with the Chicagoland area don't realize how self-segregated it is and in other parts of the Midwest. There are still 80% plus white villages filled with Italians, Irish, German, English, etc. The pan-European identity is very much intact but sadly eroding. It is important people get involved in local politics. You can still preserve this.
I don't really think that's the case. Thank you for the big super chat. Yeah, I mean, there's some towns that are still Italian, but it's not like it was. It's not like it was in the old days where you had Little Italy and you had neighborhoods that had a distinct ethnic identity. I don't think that's really reflects reality.
Operation Wetback 2.0 sent $25. Nobody sees Mexicans as part of the Chicago identity. That 14% of yours is showing. This is a no-cope zone. I live 10 minutes west of you, am 10 years older, and didn't know a Mexican until I was a junior in high school. They stay in their own areas and we avoid them to this day. Also, whites make better tacos.
They take over the whole west side. What are you talking about? You're telling me Little Village, Pilsen. It's true, the Mexicans only came here in the past 25, 30 years, but they're very much a part of the identity now.
Boris Time sent $100. Good evening, Nick. Thank you for all that you do. If you ever pass through Staten Island, for some of the best pizza on the island, go to Lee's Tavern. Owned by a Catholic Italian family since the 60s. Up until recently, Staten Island was majority Italian and Irish Catholics. Have a good weekend.
Take that fucking night.
Okay,
And that nigga can't castle, boy.
Sent $20. Have you ever heard of John Bellion? And if so, what's your
You better
favorite
put
song?
that night right
I believe he
there.
worked with Yale
You
Dog
better
a lot.
do
He's
this.
crazy talented. He's also Christian and Italian. Thanks and stay safe, bro.
I don't know him.
Locomotive sent $25. We reached the point in time where MAGA are calling you a leftist in disguise because you want to form an alliance with progressives. Maybe I'm naive, but isn't it a good thing to get Americans to stop fighting each other over useless issues? Why is the right so against it? Even Shizero and Head agreed with you. Stupid sent $21.
Alright, puss.
Amen, sir. Thanks for the show.
Alright,
Not
puss.
an
That was a
isolation.
good
Sent
move.
$30. I know the real reason you want to get
Or were you talking about what I said yesterday? Yeah, like being
Overgrowth
alone.
and 4 sent $30. I know the real reason you want to get with Candace is because you want her future reparations check. Gotta play the long game and make money moves. Few will understand this, but real Wanga Fs play chess while these other niggas play tic-tac-toe. Gen X Wang sent $30. Sup. I put up a podcast of AF that is an audio rip from the Rumble stream. Not making any money from it and don't plan to. Just creating an option to listen that I have been wanting myself. Want to make sure it's kosher with you. I can take it down if you'd like. Thanks and
kosher.
blessings to you and yours.
Yeah, don't do that.
Rian
Thank you, though.
12345 sent $20. Talking shit. The thing this mystery meat Anglo say actually needs.
Sorry.
May I suggest AI translating its
It
rating
wasn't
to
my
French,
super
German, and
chat,
Italian.
but
Hosty Dangla DeMarc. Jamal Freeman 22 sent $25. Hey Nick, how do you manage to be online 20 hours a day and still be out of touch? Harambe Swaggercock sent $20. I don't know what tourist slash here. Candace implying they killed Charlie to get her to shut up about Brigitte or Vance possibly leaving his wife for a better chance at victory in 2028. Usha was seen weathering at Camp Lejeune yesterday.
She always does that.
Brody H127 sent $20. They, yos, hate to see a white. Gavin Kramer sent $20. Happy Friday, Nick. I'm sorry to see Marjorie Taylor Gringo. She was a mixed bag, but she fought for the right side in the end. I liked your
did
point on
not.
tariffs last night, but what would you back our dollar on to reduce inflation in the future? Cuban
Nothing.
Roy sent $25. Love that you always proclaim the truth of the church. God bless.
Thank
Overgrowth sent
you.
$20. The church didn't decide the canon. God did when he inspired it. A highest authority, which scripture is self-attesting.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Renegade sent $22. 85% of Muslim refugees actually end up in Muslim countries. How do you address their global
if I go
dispersion?
here,
They're
he
the
goes
largest growing
here.
population because even their shitty countries have high birth rates.
Goes
They're not
here.
culturally homogeneous like Hindus or Chinese, so you
Yeah,
can't stick them all in an
don't
ethno
do
state
that.
without problems. Renegade sent $22. They're mad at your clip yesterday where you said you didn't hate Muslims enough. I'd like to think that Muslims slightly contributed to your success, indirectly, thanks to all those Palestine protests which kept the focus on Israel's genocide for years. Maybe that was our Kingdom of Heaven moment. We still respect our POV.
Thanks. I don't know that we ever had a ton of Muslim followers, but I don't hate them.
Hey,
Hey Nick, I'd be interested to hear
Hi,
your perspective on chess.
it's
Is it
me.
something you find intriguing at all, or does it not really capture your
Sad
Tommy
boy.
Goes
Don't agree with you all the time, but hey, think you're funny.
Tucker is speaking currently on early release Patreon for the Sean Ryan Show.
Enjoy the news. Very smart. Taking the information.
Just a wang F and
Thank you for the big super chat. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't like that he keeps calling me an anti-Semite. What the fuck is that? He didn't call me an anti-Semite on the show or in person, so what is that? You know,
talking about?
like, well, we eat dinner for 3 hours, then we do a show, we do this big interview. He didn't call.
You are winning. Stay strong. Does it not really capture your
Sad.
Tommy
Why-
Goes
why
sent
do you care?
$45. All my niggas hate Martin Luther. Paul Schiarni sent $100. Tucker is speaking currently on early release Patreon for the Sean Ryan Show, talking shit in circular statements for 2 hours about you. You are winning. Stay strong, brother. Just a wang F and
Thank you for the big super chat. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't like that he keeps calling me an anti-Semite. What the fuck is that? He didn't call me an anti-Semite on the show or in person, so what is that? You know, like, well, we eat dinner for 3 hours, then we do a show, we do this big interview. Now I'm an anti-Semite. Since when? So let me get it straight. First, I was a gay fed in my parents' basement. Then we're totally kosher. Now I'm an anti-Semite. So what the fuck is that? He goes on for 3 years, he's been going around telling everybody, oh, he's a fed. He was a fed at J6th. And what else did he say about me? Everything you can think of. He was trash talking me to anybody who would listen for years. To Alex Jones, to groups of people. I heard this secondhand from a lot of people. This guy was talking shit about me for years. He worked on that hit piece. Then he goes with Candace Owens finally and says, oh, he's a weird gay kid, came from nowhere. he's the Fed, he's the David Duke, blah, blah, blah. Then I do a show, none of that.
Checkmate, bitch.
Oh, let's just not talk about that stuff. Okay, if we're friends, sure,
Oh
let's not
man,
talk
I'm too
about
good
it.
at this. Am I
Now
back in
I'm an
300?
anti-Semite.
No,
Oh,
dude,
okay.
fuck.